Now, using triad pairs is one of the most giving techniques to level up your improvisation vocabulary. If you're looking for an easy way for modal playing, outside playing, or just want to be creative, then this is the right tool for you. And although it comes from jazz, it is very usable for rock, prog rock and fusion too, to get a structured, modern and open sound that can result in beautiful licks, from just warm natural minor to a moody modal sound or even an altered or exotic sound. So let's not waste any time and let's go for it. Now, short, a triad is a chord containing the root, the third and the fifth. And that can be minor, major, augmented or diminished. Also, knowing the shapes and inversions would serve you well in this lesson. Just watch my tutorials about triads and inversions to learn about these subjects. Now, a triad pair is just what it says. It is a pair of two triads. Now, most of the time, triad pairs do not share any notes. So when we play triad pairs, we play 6 different notes, which is a hexatonic concept. Hexa means 6. Now, a good example of a triad pair is, for instance, the G major and A major chord. These triads have no common notes. Also, C minor and D minor can be a triad pair. But, for instance, C major and E minor share 2 notes and are less suited to be a triad pair. Now, triad pairs are superimposed over a particular chord. The notes of these triads can be tension notes or resolve notes, creating an interesting sound that sometimes results in a modal sound like Dorian and Lydian, for instance. Now, the notes of the superimposed triads also outline the type of scale. For instance, when we play the G major and A major triad over an E minor chord, then the notes of both chords outline an E Dorian scale, a minor scale with a natural 6th degree, the note C sharp. And when the same G major and A major triad are played over a G major chord, then the implied scale becomes a G Lydian scale, a major scale with an augmented 4th degree, again the note C sharp. Now, because we are so used to recognizable and cohesive structure of triads, our ears will accept some dissonance that could occur with this technique. Well, most of the time. Alright, now before we go on, I want to tell you quickly about ways to play triads. Because when we play triads, we have to play the root positions and inversions in order to make a logical chain of chords. Now, I'm using the D and the E major triad for this next example, but you can take any triad pair to do this. So, we can take the horizontal path ascending like this. And we could do the same way, but now descending. Now, the vertical path is maybe more versatile because of the technical freedom compared to the horizontal approach. Now, let's do an ascending way. And descending. And of course, within these patterns, we can vary the order and rhythmic structure of the notes too. So let's see how to use the actual triad pairs. Now, the use of triad pairs is actually quite simple if you know your scales. Say we want to create a Mixolydian lick with triad pairs. Then first we will look at the triads in the, let's say, G Mixolydian scale. Any combination of 2 triads that have no common notes are usable, but some work better than others. Now, the F major triad on the minor 7th degree and the G major triad on the tonic are 2 chords that do not share any note, and the F major triad contains the characteristic Mixolydian minor 7th degree, the note F. Now, besides that, the F major chord contains also the 9th A and the 11th C. So over the G dominant 7th vamp, this triad pair will work very nice. Now, the same 2 chords, F major and G major, work well over a D minor and D minor 7 chord too. This creates a Dorian mode, which is a minor scale with a natural 6th degree. Now, in D Dorian, that is the note B. Looking at the chords in the D Dorian scale, we'll find an F major chord on the 3rd degree. This is the upper structure of a D minor 7 chord. Now on the 4th degree we see a G major triad that contains the notes G, B and G. Now the note G is the 11th in the D minor chord, and the note B is the characteristic Dorian natural 6th. So it's quite obvious that those two triads outline the D Dorian mode best. Here's an example. So short, we can use triad pairs to improvise and evoke a certain feeling over a certain chord. Now, with the notes of the triads, we can make all kinds of rhythmic variations to keep the triad lick interesting. Now, I will show you 5 rhythmic variations that you can use to make a musical application of these rhythms. And we'll stay in the Dorian mode and play A minor and B minor triad over the A minor chord to create a darker Dorian sound. Now we'll start with groups of 3. And you could also play groups of 4. And even in odd groups of 5, that gives a kind of moving rhythmic effect. Or you could play it with combined rhythm figures and play it descending in a more musical way instead of an exercise. And you can play it as a shuffle in groups of 4. And of course you can go wild with this and come up with your own rhythmic extravaganza. Now there are many possibilities to use triads for beautiful and interesting sounds. Now nearly every scale that has 6 notes or more can be outlined with a triad pair. 2 things are important when you do so. The triad should not have common notes, although there are exceptions in special cases. And the notes of the triad pair should contain the characteristic note of the scale that you want to outline. In the next part I will give you some examples of scales and modes over a static chord. Now for the Dorian mode we've got 2 possibilities. We can get a brighter Dorian sound by using the major triad on the 3rd degree and the major triad on the 4th degree. C major is the upper structure of the A minor 7 chord, and the D major chord contains the characteristic Dorian natural 6th F sharp and the 11th D. This is how it sounds. Now, using minor triads of the tonic and the 2nd degree, we'll get a darker Dorian sound. And the B minor triad contains the Dorian natural 6th F sharp and the beautiful 9th, the note B. Now we have 2 choices for the Lydian mode. If we look at the chords in the C Lydian mode, which is a major scale with an augmented 4th degree by the way, then we could use the C major and D major triad. Now the D major triad contains the characteristic augmented 4th degree F sharp. Instead, I will show you a more colorful alternative with the E minor triad instead of the C major triad. The E minor triad is the upper structure of the C major 7 chord and contains the major 7th B. And it sounds like this. Now the Mixolydian scale is a major scale with a minor 7th degree, which makes it a darker major scale. If we look at the triads in the C Mixolydian scale, then we'll see a B flat major triad on the minor 7th degree that contains the characteristic Mixolydian minor 7th degree B flat and the 9th D. The triad has no common notes with the tonic C major, so these 2 triads will sound Mixolydian. Now the Dorian sharp 4 scale is a 4th mode of the harmonic minor scale and is also called the Romanian minor scale. It sounds very oriental and exotic. Now it's a minor scale with an augmented 4th and natural 6th degree. If we take a triad pair of the minor chord on the tonic and the major triad on the 2nd degree, then we have outlined this scale with 2 simple triads. The D major chord contains the 9th D, the augmented 4th F sharp and the Dorian natural 6th A. and it sounds like this. The C harmonic minor scale is characterized by the 1.5 step distance between the minor 6th and the major 7th degree, the notes A flat and B. Now these notes can be found in the F minor triad on the 4th degree and the G major triad on the 5th degree. Playing these triads as a triad pair over a C minor chord will outline the oriental sounding C harmonic minor scale. Now the melodic minor scale is a minor scale with a major 6th and a major 7th degree and has a beautiful sound that moves around between major and minor. Now the two major triads on the 4th and 5th degree of the scale outline the melodic minor scale best, like this. Now to get an altered sound or outside sound, it is common practice to play an altered scale over a dominant chord or an altered dominant chord like B dominant 7 sharp 5 sharp 9 for instance. Now over this chord we could play a B altered scale, which is in fact a C melodic minor scale, the minor scale with a major 6th and a major 7th degree as we have just seen. Now the triads in the B altered scale or C melodic minor scale are B diminished, C minor, D minor, E flat augmented, F major, G major and A diminished. Now if we leave out the tonic B, then we are left with 6 notes that make up 2 triads, namely C minor and D minor. Now playing these triads will bring out all the altered notes, the flat 9, the sharp 9, the flat 5 and the sharp 5, and also the major 3rd and flat 7 can be found in these triads. You can also use the major triad on the tonic and the triad that is a tritone away from the tonic. So in the case of this B altered chord, that would be the B major triad and the F major triad. Now the F major triad contains 2 altered notes and the minor 7th. The flat 5 F, the minor 7th A and the flat 9 C. And it sounds like this. Now we can put all the things we did in a real world example. For instance over a 2-5-1, which is the most obvious thing to do, I guess. In a 2-5-1 in C major we can play the D minor and C major triad over the 2 chord, which is the D minor 7 chord. The C major triad is the upper structure of the D minor 11 chord containing the minor 7 C, the 9th E and the 11 G, all beautiful color tones. Over the G altered chord we can play the A flat minor triad and the E flat major triad we have just seen in the previous chapter. Now the result is an altered sound. The notes of the A flat minor triad are the flat 9A, the major 3rd B that is enharmonic equal to the C flat, and the sharp 5 D sharp that is enharmonic equal to E flat. The E flat major triad contains the root G and the sharp 9th A sharp that is enharmonic equal to B flat, and the sharp 5 D sharp that is enharmonic equal to E flat. Over the C major chord, we'll play the D major and G major triad to create a Lydian effect by introducing the sharp 4, the note F sharp. In this case, the triad pairs do overlap and have one note in common, but it's still a developed and colorful sound. So let's listen to the progression and the triad pairs. Now when you're looking for a non-scalar approach to make lines or licks, then you can use triad pairs that outline the scale and create a specific sound. Practically every scale can be outlined in this way, and over every type of chord you can play these triad pairs to create a modern, open and unique sound and evoke all kinds of emotions and colors. Now, I hope you can use this to broaden your musical horizon and become even a better musician than you already are. I want to thank you all for watching and participating. And if you like what you see, please subscribe, like and comment. I'll see you next time in another tutorial. Bye!